Joseph Lopez, how you doing, man? Hey, can you hear me good? John's goal was the. I'm sorry, God, I murdered that. How's it going? Hey, Transit, how's it going, man? Hey, I heard it was snowing up there in Flagstaff still. I got I got family that's in that area. Well, that's good. Yeah, I'm pretty tired too. It's kind of a rough week so far. Yeah, it wasn't too not eventful, but still made for a long week. Yeah, I'm glad you made it through okay. So, how's everybody doing, man? I hope all you're good. Um, just thought I'd jump on here, do a little live before, yeah, I don't know, just to kind of BS and see what everybody's up to. These tariffs, well, they kind of went sideways, didn't they? I guess I don't know. I wasn't really following along too much. All I heard is that they backtracked and hey, silver and gold stack tech. Oh, just trying to catch some little live in before bed. So yeah, John, $2 drop on silver, man. That was kind of out of nowhere. Transit, I'm glad you made it to your delivery safe, buddy. Okay, buddy. Ben, over. Well, that's a felony here in Texas, buddy. So, um, yeah, that was kind of a shocker, huh? Gold got all the way down too. Gold got down to what? A little above 3,000 when I last saw it, and then it kind of took a little jump back up, but it didn't last too long. I was kind of happy to see silver stayed down. Let's see what it does tomorrow or tonight. We don't know, but man, what a ride, huh? What a ride. There's a lot of people talking about it, and I guess I'm just a dumb redneck. I don't really know too much about this kind of stuff. I know crypto's down. Oh my God, crypto's down like a son of a gun. We're kind of treading water on the XRP that we got a hold of. Wish we'd have took some kind of a economic ninja course to figure it out, but I didn't see where it made sense to pay $199 to take a XRP course. Yeah, Ben, I'm just a redneck, man. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and there we go. Yeah, that'll work. Thanks a lot, 210. Okay. Well, there's another one. God dang, these some bitches are fucking nasty tonight, man. And I'm really not in that kind of a mood. Uh, wow, that's horrible, man. I try not to go around talking to people like that, and I will admit I have trolled some people at some point, but God, I never get that nasty with people. That's just horrible. Yeah, kind of freaking puts a damper on the mood. You know what I mean? Hey, Vegas, good evening. Checks, good evening, buddy. How are y'all doing today, tonight? Supposed to have been some rain over here this evening, but now it says it's not starting. Probably not till tomorrow or possibly overnight. But yeah, the big silver squeeze, man. That's kind of been a topic too, huh? The big silver squeeze. You know, for some reason, I just had a gut feeling that that was more of a big marketing ploy, man. I mean, that's all it seemed like to me. God, you know, I kind of feel bad for the people that bought into it. You know, they bought some high price silver when they could have got it for $2 cheaper today. Yeah, I try to silver and gold stack attack, but and I try to ignore a lot of things. I really do, man. But man, it's Vegas. It's on dang near on. So I yeah, checks. That's what I felt about it too. I I like to watch other people's content. You know, I like to see what their thoughts and opinions are and their views on stuff. You know, I might not be that smart, but I retain a lot of stuff. Hey, Hidden, how are you doing? But I came across this Empire guy, Stormy something. He's like I guess he's got a pretty big following and he's well known. And to me, just he kind of came off as a knockoff of some Star Wars character, right? But he put on this video about people that do YouTube with dirty fingernails and dirty hands. And that shit just ate me up today. I shouldn't have let it get to me, but sometimes, you know, Craig, how's it going? Hope all's well. But I'm a freaking mechanic. I work on semi trucks for 11 hours out of the day. My hands get beat up, they get cuts, not big cuts, but they get cuts, they get bruises, they get freaking grease and oil and grime under the fingernails. I try to keep them clean. Oh, this guy just come off like we're a bunch of bag nasties, shitbirds that didn't know how to hygiene because our hands are dirty. And man, I far from dirty, you know, but because of what I do, it yeah. But because of what I do, you know, that's kind of you know, it just it's the way it is, you know. I mean, I had plenty to say. You know, I've watched a couple of his auctions where he sells you know, he sells a freaking sunshine mint silver bar that, you know, buck and go. Some bitch sells for $75, you know. I don't think that's right. But anyways, that just it irritated me. It really bothered me. I mean, some people that's what they do. We work with our hands. You know, I don't go get pedicures or manicures. You know, silver and gold stack attack. Yeah, I'll bet y'all this. I'll bet y'all this Trump copper bar, the silver and gold stack attack gets manicures. What do y'all think? So yeah, it was just something that kind of got to me. You know, whatever. It is what it is. I know what I do for a living. I know that I work. I work more than I probably should for my age, but this silver stacking game, it caught me later on in life, and I hadn't always made the right financial decisions. I blew a lot of money in a lot of stupid places until I started this, and my family's been better off for it. Oops, shook the dang table. Other than working so much, not getting to spend as much time for my not getting to spend so much time with my girls. But Chex gets pedicures. Well, pedicures are different, Chex. We're not showing feet here. We're showing hands, buddy. But oh geez, now man, Chex got me all off with that comment. But yeah, I guess I took it a little more personally than what I should have. And the guy probably wasn't directing it at me or anybody in particular, but it just kind of, I guess we got a freaking hand police now, but working two jobs, it's not easy. Like I said, I didn't make the right choices. I I taught the right choices? Yeah, but I refused to listen. Stubborn. Didn't go about things the right way. It and when I was 46, or no, that was last year when I was in my about 45, mid 40s. I guess I still am in my mid 40s, but that's when I kind of fell into this, and it started sinking in, that better start planning for the future, and mainly my kids' future. That's kind of where all this is going. I don't. A lot of people stack for retirement. A lot of people stack to when they retire to use it to buy a piece of land and live out in a cabin somewhere in the mountains, which is all that's awesome. But for me, it's going to be just a transfer of wealth. My girls are going to get it. They're going to get that. They're going to get that stack. And I hope they do the right thing with it. And hopefully, I'm not gone by the time I can really vet their boyfriends or whoever their partners are going to be, because the last thing I'm gonna want is to kick the bucket and some bitch come along and marry one of my daughters and uses the whole stack to buy himself a brand new pickup. That would, boy, I'd come back. I would definitely come back and whoop some ass if that happened. I guarantee it. Oh, hidden, it's a great hobby. I mean, most people's hobbies, they spend money, right? I mean, here we could say we're spending money, but we're also saving money, right? I mean, we're putting it away. For most of these most of these buffaloes I bought at, I don't know, I think silver was at 27 ounce, 22 an ounce or whatever it was. So instead of putting it in a slot machine over here, they have slot machines here in this part of Texas. They call them game rooms, and you go and you put 20 in and you push the button. And if you win, you win. But that's what I was doing for a while. And I wasn't putting away my whole paycheck. I wasn't, wasting everything, but I wasn't saving. I was chewing a can of mint Copenhagen long cut every day, probably 2 cans on Sundays. And heck, I did that for 10 years. Smoking cigarettes, drinking beer, drinking whiskey. I mean, I did all that. And I couldn't, it's like I couldn't stop. There was nothing to stop me. I would make sure that my kids were taken care of. I would make sure that I made sure my kids were taken care of, the bills were paid, all that was taken care of, but there was never anything extra. What extra there was, I was pumping it into a machine, $20, $40 every Saturday. And I know that doesn't sound like much, but it adds up. And this is one thing that stacking has definitely taught me. If I see a quarter laying on the ground, I'm picking it up and I'm putting it in my pocket, and I'm putting that in the jar, the change jar. Well, first I'm going to check to see if it's silver, Hey, Ghostface. Hey, God bless, man. From Scotland. I appreciate that. So I go and I put it in the change jar, right? And all this change, if I find it, I put it in there. So when I take that change and take it in, if it's, $40 or so, then, whatever, that's like getting a free ounce of silver. So my dollar cost average just went down right there, And that's a whole nother thing. I don't really worry too much about dollar cost average. I try not to get the most expensive stuff out there with highest premiums. Steve C, that's good, man. I wish a lot more people knew about this. I wish that they teach this in school, in high school, home economics. Well, Craig, one of the other things I wasted a lot of money on in my youth was fishing. Hey, Hidden, have a good night, man. Thank you. I appreciate you stopping in. Fishing, man, I love to fish. Boy, I'd love to fish, but it got expensive. Yeah, fishing was an expensive hobby also. And, I found stacking. Miss West Texas kind of pushed me into it, She put me into stacking, and I had kind of haven't stopped since. I've been a little bit upset this year with the amount that I've been able to stack. It hasn't been as much as I thought. I'm not sure what you mean, can't afford the twine. Twine. What do you mean, Mike Smith 24 twine? Oh, Craig, fishing's a blast, man. Oh, or do you mean the fishing line? I'm sorry. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a little on edge tonight. I don't know why. Just sometimes I get a little worked up, and it takes a little bit to calm me down. So, but yeah, fishing was an expensive hobby. I would go after salmon, steelhead. I'd fly rods. You know, level line sturgeon rods, sturgeon boat rods and reels, freaking bank casting sturgeon rods and reels. I had it all. And it was fun. It was a lot of fun, and it kept me out of some trouble, but man, it was expensive, and I don't have any of it now. The silver that I have, of course, it's gonna stay. Say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Steve C, that's another one too. But guns tend to hold their value. You know, Stack that goal. What's up, buddy? Yeah, the pew pews don't really tend to go down too much. My dad was an avid collector, an avid firearm collector. He didn't like. Craig says hi. He didn't. He didn't like these new rifles with their black stocks and plastic stocks or carbon stocks. He didn't like any of those. He liked a beautiful firearm with a nice wood grain stock. LJ said, hi, y'all.
Hello, AJ. I said, what up?
Yeah, she says, what's up, LJ? So, that all these things, they were tearing me up. 210 says hi. 210, hold on a second. I'm going to jump off camera real quick. I absolutely love it, 210. I love it. It definitely gets used. Does that make my eye look bigger? Yeah. Yep. I use that quite often. I appreciate it.
I use it too a lot.
Miss West Texas uses it too a lot. L's on. Sweetheart, can you give me a bottle of water, please?
Yeah.
I'll have to pick up a little something for you, 210. That's Dub C. How's it going, man? Dub C says, coming right up. Oh, there were some horrible trolls.
What were they saying?
Horrible things right when I first started.
Like what?
Like, I'm not even going to repeat it.
Oh, like bad stuff?
Yeah. Yep.
Did you get them out?
Yeah, they got out. I kind of went off on the whole dirty fingernails thing. Yeah. Say hi to everybody.
I did. I said hi. I just said hi.
Oh, Craig. Yeah, the M14s are. Yeah, the M1 carbines. I love that. I had an M1 carbine.
What? See, I can't even. I don't even understand what that is. I do know what I wanted to make.
Yeah, got an M1 Grand. My dad always wanted an M1 Grand, but he could never find the one that he liked. Y'all do know that during World War II that different companies manufactured different rifles. So you could get a Singer, an M1 Grand made by Singer or some other company. That I always thought that was pretty cool, that back then, America and Americans came together and actually stood side by side and
ones that he's bringing back, and I'm like really excited about.
Hi, Tiger. How you doing tonight? Go ahead. What's?
You know how Trump that he's gonna bring back the world fairs.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Oh, okay.
I think
Checks,
that's
you're.
gonna be really cool.
That would be really cool. Checks, you're right. M1 carbines made by General Motors, and it's funny that we're talking about this because these arms, they're collectors and they're collectible. Well, the ones that were made by different corporations, like General Motors or some of the other ones, depending on who made it, the collectability went up, the price went up. Yeah, I always thought that was real awesome. I miss my dad. I miss him so much, and I wish that I would, like we all probably do that have lost them, our dads. That I wish I would have listened a hell of a lot more. I didn't quite know as much as I thought I knew, and it's funny because it must go in a big circle, right? These cycles, right? Because I have a son now who is 14,
Yes.
and he will try to slide them that whole thing. He would try to slide one by me, and I'll be like, yeah, right. You think I'm going to fall for that? And what these kids will never understand is that, how did my parents know that that's what I was getting at? How did they know that that's what I was up to? Yeah, the answer's simple, because when we were their age, we were up to the same thing, and probably told the same fibs to get by. I My dad had a real nice Charles Daly over under, and when I was 12 years old, I snuck it out of the house to go shoot some ducks down there at the creek, and everything was great. Everything was fun until I got back to the house. We lived a couple hundred yards away from the creek, and got back to the house, and there was a sheriff, not a deputy, but the sheriff, the county sheriff, the head cheese of the county, right? He's sitting in the driveway watching me come up with this beautiful over under, right? And he took that damn gun and put it in the back seat, and I about died right there. I mean, I wasn't crying out loud, but I had tears running down the side of my face. And he was asking me for my hunting license and federal and migratory bird stamps and all this stuff. And man, I don't see how that guy could have kept a straight face. And he was acquainted with my dad there in that town. But man, I mean, I must have had a look on my face, and my mom was home at the time. And that sheriff says, "Son, that's not your shotgun, is it?" And I said, "No, sir, it sure ain't. And you'll be coming back over here if my dad don't get it back." And he says, What do I be coming back over here for?" I said, "Because he's gonna kill me when he finds out." And boy, he had me. I was shaking like a leaf on a tree, and he saw it, and he gave it back to me, and I ran and put it back in the gun safe. And hell, I don't think I ever touched that shotgun again. Yeah. Yeah, LJ, they are Well, I think years later, my mom did end up telling. Yep, I think.
Else there?
Yeah, I think my mom did end up telling them.
Haven't seen
Yeah.
Ella in a while. Tree there.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I think I was out of the house already. I'd join up in the Marine Corps by the time she told him. She waited until he'd have probably still whooped me if he would have found out while I was there. Pokemon cards and Legos, huh? Well, I don't know if they carry as much value, or hold their value better, but
You can't really get Pokemon cards anymore because people are.
Well, come here and say that. Come on, come stand over here. We got a Pokemon card collector right here. Over here, sweetie.
I'm eating a piece of bread.
Well, go ahead. Tell everybody about Pokemon cards.
They're kind of hard to get now in stores because people
Go ahead.
people are going and getting them because they're worth more value now.
They're worth
They're
more
buying
value.
and scalping them.
Pokemon scalpers. Craig knows about Pokemon scalpers. Wow, I didn't know that was such a thing. What do they do? They just go into
They buy
the
them all up, all the packs.
Yeah.
and what do they do with the packs? I don't know. That's the first I ever heard about this. Pokemon scalpers.
Sell them.
Excuse me. And sell them? Do they get it? Do they get expensive Pokemon cards?
Yeah. Sometimes.
Do you have some expensive Pokemon cards? Do you want to show people? You want to show the
Yeah.
people your Pokemon cards?
I don't have to set up with mine. Oh, let me set this piece of bread down.
Wow. I guess I never really knew what Pokemon cards were. I mean, I think I had friends that played them. I'm not sure.
I don't think were they around when we were young?
What year did Pokemon cards come out? I thought I heard somebody say something about them in 1990s. In the 1990s.
It came out in 1995. I have a lot of 1995 cards.
So LJ says they wait for the delivery, then scoop up the best packs. That's news to me. I ain't never heard of that. Now, the sports cards, I heard they kind of do. Oh, wow. That's crazy, Craig. You can learn something new every day. 1999 was the first ones. I still have them.
That's what she said.
97 or 98, I think. Dang, so I could have probably got Pokemon cards when I was in Okinawa, right? I could have got the different ones, huh? I'd have never thought. Yeah, this is a whole nother topic, right? Of storing things with value, and I'm glad. I don't think they're in the chat anymore. Can't really pronounce their name, but I'm glad they brought it up because, like, you're gonna take better care of these if they're worth money.
Well, those aren't. That one's worth $50, I think.
Well, maybe not now. But anyways, Garbage Pail Kids. I had some Garbage Pail Kids. So if I would have got some from Okinawa, or if they would have been different, or if they would have, so.
Right, Michael? Mr. West Texas.
So, I wish I could learn how to turn this dang phone around. She has this. What is this? Sword and Shield. What card is that?
That's Veterinary. I think it's not a promo. Promos are worth more.
Promos are worth more.
That one is a promo, I think. No, it's not.
Is this a Charizard?
That's Vitani.
Victini.
Vitani.
Vitani. I don't know who Vitani is.
Oh.
And what's this one?
That's more Pecco.
More Pico. And 9.5, I think, this is 9.5 Gem Mint. So these are fairly good grades, right? Like, I think they only go up to 10. Well, that's interesting.
This is a card that people are mostly looking for.
Which one's Flying Pikachu?
Yeah.
Oh, you see how you got it all kind of bent?
I keep.
She's got a Flying Pikachu. Wow.
This is my favorite.
She's.
I have one worth a lot, though.
What?
It's my YouTube card.
What?
So one of the things that, like I was going to say, is we have, my dad, my mom and dad never really taught us what collectibles were. Some antique stuff, yes, but I guess in their eyes, and it's kind of like where I fall in is, I would have never thought that Pokemon cards would be collectible. I guess I didn't. I thought they were just a fad at the time. That they would a trend. I should say they were just a trend that was going to go away, and apparently not, because
This one's worth a lot.
this one, and she has this one. Who's what?
That's Mewtwo.
Mewtwo.
Yeah.
So
That's one of kind of the newer.
I had football cards. I think I had football cards, and that was kind of what I collected. And I don't have football cards anymore. I lost all my football cards being dumb. I'm an original 151 guy. Yeah, that's wild. I wish my parents would have taught me about collectibles. I kind of always had an idea of what vintage stuff was, but never really like, hey, save this. That's going to be a collectible. It might be worth money later on, and boy, I could have been sitting on a gold mine, literally. What's this one?
This is a Pokemon. It's an amulet of hope. So there.
A trainer?
Yeah, I think it's a basic. Not.
So she's wanting to show out her Pokemon cards of some kind of amulet. Uh-oh. Amulet of hope.
That's the one I got from the coin shop in Midland.
And she got this one at Preacher Bill's in Midland. That's cool. Cool stuff. But with that, like, I was never taught about collecting stuff, I was never taught about silver and gold, Jacob, yeah, Preacher Bill definitely does have, they got a whole Pokemon section there now, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got a whole Pokemon section there now. It's wild.
Different people vendors in there.
Yeah, a couple different vendors.
The guy that's in there, he's the one that sold me that box of them for that game.
Yeah. Oh,
He
cool.
owns that little area.
So I know I do have some toys that they've gotten for Christmas that I've bagged up and sealed up, and I put them in the closet up there high to where they can't get them. So, maybe they will be, in 10, 15 years from now, they will be worth something more if they don't. I swear, I don't know how many of y'all are girl dads out there, but I got two the same age. And you could put a steel bunk bed in their room, give it a week's time, and that sucker would be broke and
Falling apart.
and falling apart.
They're destructive.
So Craig says that a Charizard sold at auction for around 300,000 a few years ago.
Was it the 1995 one?
I don't know.
Probably. That one's really expensive.
Which would bring me to my next question. Would you have to pay capital gains tax on Pokemon cards? Well, I have two beautiful daughters, LJ, and they are destructive. They will, boy, I tell you. Yep, I'm not joking. I could give them a bar of silver and they will figure out a way to cut in half without a knife. I'll find half of random things, be like, where's the rest of it? Oh, I don't know. But that's another thing, and I know there's a few of y'all in the chat that maybe had family that were coin collectors, or they knew about silver and gold, and I'm not saying my parents didn't know about silver and gold, but it just was one of those things that where to get it. It's not, you couldn't just go into at least the local jewelry stores that we had there, you couldn't go and pick up an ounce of silver or a ounce of gold, in a bullion form. And melted a candle. But if there was, I wish I would have known about it back then, Who would have ever thought, when we were kids, that half dollars and quarters and dimes would be worth something, worth more than the half dollar and the dimes, Jacob, that's awesome. Yeah. Buy what you like. Prices are down a little bit low. I was tempted to do some ordering online today, but I think I'm going to wait till Saturday and then go pick up, see if I can pick up a 10-ounce bar of 10-ounce bar of silver, and maybe a couple generic rounds or something. I do have some Eagles. Honestly, I'm more of a generic guy. I have some Eagles and some Maples, but I'm mainly a generic round type of person. Yeah, Transit. Oh yeah, Jacob. I go to the vault every Saturday. Cigars, what's going on, man? Madison, or Miss Little Princess Stacker. Hey, go over there to the top of the safe, and there's a little bar of silver up there. Can you bring it to me, please? Oh, oh, cigars, man. First of all, I was already in a little fiery
This
mood.
one or this one?
That one in your hand. That's the one. Yep, that one. That one. Thank you. Red. That's the Texas flag. Cigars. I'll shoot you an email on that, man. Yeah. It was just. I was a little bit hot already about something, and I picked this up in the generic bin at Bill's, or not. I'm sorry, not Bill's, but at the Vault on Saturday. It is a Simon's Refco. And when I first saw it, I thought it was one of those refinery bars, right? That Simon Refco, I thought it was refinery. And for some reason, I've just kind of dodged those. And I saw it and I was like, I kind of like the toning on it. And I'm gonna go ahead and get it. And it just kind of sat there, and I didn't know much about it. And I did that all Engelhard. Man, what a sight, right? So that was pretty good find for spot, or a couple dollars over spot, whatever it was. STG. I had looked that up. They're based out of Chicago from, I think it said from the 60s to early 80s, I believe. And yeah, that I don't know how many of y'all look at that site, that all Engelhard, but you can find out some pretty neat information on that site. Jacob, yeah, I'll be down. I'll be at the Vault on Saturday. I love that place. I go in to shop, and sometimes, well, most times I end up behind the counter helping people out, which is a whole awesome experience in itself. There's a few things that I got to get better at. Kind of a question that I had for general, the general stacking community here. Do y'all have gray sheets? I know we can, I know we can buy the red book, the red book at wherever, Hobby Lobby or whatever. But gray sheets. And it's funny because I'm trying to read this, and I remember reading the old Beckett. And then we're talking about cards, and we'd get that the Beckett on, at the card shop, and boy, I could find any card on that, and it. I'm sitting here trying to look for this coin. He was having me look up this coin, and I could not find it, and man, there's just some things that you can Google and get a kind of a rough guess of what it might be, or where to look for it. But that nothing beats the books. Yeah, I've tried a few. I have a few Englehards, I think one or two. I have a few Johnson Matthey. John, I don't know if you know Herman Ortiz. Every Friday or every other Friday, he was doing a live stream from Preacher Bill's in Midland, and they would have the 1 ounce Englehard bars and stuff. Yep. Yeah, Craig O'Herman. That's Ortiz. It's Ortiz with the Q. I don't know how to drop his. Dub C, I saw that. I didn't get to watch the full thing, but I think when I finally go lay, thanks a lot, Dub, because when I finally get to lay my head down, I think I'm gonna watch that video and have pretty dang good dreams. Yeah. If anybody would ask me when I was, even in my early 30s, I'll keep my eye out on them. I work tomorrow, and usually in between semi trucks coming in and out, I can usually have time to watch something. I might not catch all of it at once, but usually in between trucks, I'll be able to see something, and right after I'll do the Pizza Hut thing. Yeah, good old Pizza Hut. Man, John, I have a couple of the prospectors. Actually, Mark Samuelson, a great, great, knowledgeable person in the community. He's the one that got us kind of started on these prospectors. Hey, I ain't got no problem with that, Dub. I mean, if we can get the word out to people, it was just to be on the other side of the counter and watch somebody pull about what they paid, what their cost was, what they bought it for. It was probably about $600 worth of copper, and they're sitting in the LCS, and we're adding it all up, and the owner tells them, well, this is the best that I can offer you, and it's nowhere near what he paid for it. That was you could see the hurt in this guy's eyes, and I didn't ask him who he watched. I just made the comment that I said, you watched the wrong YouTube channel, didn't you? And he shook his head, yes. Yes, I did. And don't get me wrong. I mean, like I said in that video, copper is a very pretty metal, especially when it's all shined and polished. Man, I mean, it's not bad looking, but it's not worth $45 for a 10-ounce bar pretty. Yeah. And on that note, I don't feel like messing with the camera too much, but I stumbled upon something, and I was going to get it. I was going to purchase it. Looks like I got some. Oh no, card is empty. Close that out. No, and you know what? And I wasn't trying to talk bad about copper. I know there's a lot of members in the community that make beautiful copper pours. but that's different. That's not bullion. That's not buying a piece of copper to say, I'm going to save this because the price of it's going to go up. You know, the copper pours, that's somebody's time and skill and art to make that. You know, so if somebody could pour me a solid copper eagle, globe, and anchor, I would probably buy it, you know, for a fair price. You know, I'm not saying that I would give them $200 for it, but you know, if one came along and it was around 40-50 bucks or so, I would probably buy it from them, you know, because it's, you know, I'm not buying it as a bullion. I'm buying it as a on a piece of art. Oh man, my little laptop ain't very nice to me sometimes. Okay, so I'm very skeptical by nature, right? I don't fall for scams. LJ, coin roll hunting. I always say corn roll. I don't know why. Dub C, take care, man. I'll see you. I'll catch your video tomorrow. Coin roll be a great way to get copper. Maybe find some different pennies, some Wheaties, or whatever you're going to find in there. You're going to have to, you know, you'll be able to find just about anything eventually. But if you're going to stack copper, strip wire. Nope, it's not the Polish flag. It is the Texas flag. Yeah, that's the Texas flag there. So, like I was saying, I am very skeptical about things and why people do things. And why companies do things, you know, I'm always kind of watchful on that. And I came across this round. It's a 2016 Provident Year of the Monkey 1 ounce silver round error copper mule. And Miss West Texas likes monkeys. Yeah, she especially loves macaques. And I thought, awesome. I'm going to get her this round. It's an error round, you know, it says, yeah, so it's supposed to say silver on the reverse side of it, but it says copper in its place. It's definitely, you know, it's a legitimate online bullion dealer. I'm not going to give the name because it, you know, because I like them too much, honestly. If it was SD or JM or anybody, and you can probably find these on SD or wherever, but I'm not going to give the name of the online bullion dealer. I'm just gonna. It's a Provident Year of the Monkey 1 ounce 2016 error copper mule on it. It says copper instead of silver, and it's clearly a 1 ounce silver round. I thought, man, great. I'm going to get that from Miss West Texas. This has got to have, it's got to be low. You know, there can't be very many of them. there can't be very many of them out there, right? Like, how often could this happen? They maybe 8 slipped out, right? Or so, or a handful slipped out. Thought, man, that's cool. I'm going to get it. And I kept shopping and I came across another one. Provident Prospector 1 ounce silver round V1 error copper mule. And to me, that's not a coincidence. It's just not. It's not a. Yeah, yeah, pretty much, right, Craig? Gold price is dropping again. Good, good. I might not get a 10 ounce silver bar on Saturday. I just might get some gold. If I do good on tips last night, I might be able to get a 1/4 ounce. But to see 2 of them with the same copper mule error on it kind of put my radar up. Like maybe Provident Metals did this, or Provident did it to possibly get more sales. You know, like, I mean, that's just kind of how my thought process is on that kind of stuff. LJ, that's awesome. What are you gonna get? Are you gonna get now? I have 1 or 2. I can't remember. I have 1 or 2 gold eagles, 10th ounce gold eagles. Miss West Texas has a very, very beautiful 10th ounce mercury commemorative. Yeah, Craig, that I'm always looking down. I take Odin for a walk, and I'm always looking down see what I can see. So anyhow, I decided to pass on these Provident Prospector or Year of the Monkeys. I thought, what a coincidence that they're going to have 2 rounds that have errors on them. It just didn't make much sense to me. I'll have to take a look at those, LJ. I usually get the Britannias. The last couple times I've bought 10th ounces, it was a Britannia, and it was at a pretty good price, pretty good deal on it. Now, Craig, speaking about keeping an eye out for gold jewelry, and no kidding, I'm standing there on the counter. This fella walks in, and it looked like he's put a set of teeth out there on the counter, on the showcase glass, right? And he just kind of throws them up there, and the owner was up front, and he's talking to him, and he says, "Oh, you finally deciding to get rid of this, get rid of these gold teeth, this grill?" And the guy says, "Shoot, no, I ain't getting rid of my grill." He says, "I found these on the ground." So it was about $60 worth of gold that he got, and took his money and ran. That was kind of funny, you know. I guess you never know when you're going to be able to find something. I've had people come in that have found little gold necklaces and pendants along the curb of the sidewalk, you know. Yeah, John, gold is looking more appealing. Everybody, I think for most of us, one of the forgotten metals is platinum. Platinum I mean, yeah, I wouldn't doubt it, Craig. Let me see. Oh, I'm trying to bring up the price. Platinum is at $961.07. Now, this is according to the bullion site that I'm on. Gold's down to $3,097.85 and silver's at $31.63. Wow. So there's a good shot that silver might end up below $31 or below $31 an ounce. Yeah, bring your sawzall. Well, yeah, high desert. That's high desert. I love that name because I grew up in the high desert. You know, the high desert of Oregon, and that's what we called it, the high desert, man. So that every time I see you on a chat, I get a little kick out of it. But platinum is very appealing. I don't know too much about palladium, but platinum is kind of appealing. That especially now that it's down below $1,000 an ounce. People talk about the premiums and how crazy the platinum premiums are, but a lot of these people that will talk about crazy platinum premiums will turn around and buy a high premium, overpriced piece of silver or copper. I've seen some of that.
Nice.
Craig, I've actually watched a video of somebody collected a bunch of spark plugs and scraped off all the platinum. Sounded like a good deal until he went to the junkyard and they charged him, was it, I think, $1.50 per spark plug, and he had about 200 of them. You know, platinum would kind of be the safer bet, you would think, right? Like, it's been pretty steady for the last few months at right around $1,000. So, I mean, all this is just, you know, these prices are just all real speculative, right? So, you know, it's going to go up, it's going to go down. Premiums. I put out a video a while back about and it's my opinion only on what I think about premiums. And premiums to me are, they don't matter. You know, like as far as in the big picture, at the time they do matter. Of course, the lower the premium, the more you're going to be able to stack, the more you're going to be able to put away. But it's good to treat yourself, and if you want to pick up a nice piece of silver or platinum or anything like that with a higher premium every once in a while, you don't really have to worry about the premium too much because, you know, 20 years from now, the spot price is going to be way above the premium that you paid for it anyways. So, what are y'all doing?
Trying to get her school laptop plugged in somewhere.
Oh.
It usually plugs in right there.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Apparently there's not enough plugins in this house.
Well, no, you're just using.
I'm using the ones that they normally use, I know.
Sorry, we're being too noisy.
Craig, that's exactly right. You know, there's not much of a gain or much of a loss. No, y'all ain't being that noisy. Heck.
You're getting in bed.
I'll tell you what, it beats working. I'd have usually been to work or still. But, well, anyhow, everybody, I think I am going to go to bed. Dub C, I'm going to watch that short. And I hope y'all have a great night. 27 likes, that's not too bad. I don't know. I don't ever know how many people kind of watched or how many subscribers I got till the end. Hi, Happy Tiger. Elle says sweet dreams, everybody, and be
Good
blessed.
night, Elle. Good night, everyone. God bless you.
Yep, I'll try to catch up with y'all. There's a lot of channels I love to. Oh, awesome. Transit, where are you going with that load of ice creams? You need a Smokey and the Bandit with you? Transit has a load of ice cream sandwiches he's taking to, I don't know where he's taking them to, but that sounds like a fun, fun trip, right? Keep that reefer going. Don't let it die out on you. But he's there in Phoenix. Oh God, a load of ice cream sandwiches in Phoenix, Arizona. I don't think I'd be able to get much sleep. Everybody, God bless. Y'all have a great night. Thanks for stopping in and listening to me flap my gums. You know, we really do. We care about this community. We care about the people in it. I've made some great friends, a lot of people that I wish that I would get to meet face to face, you know, and it just, oh, well, I just kind of ramble. That's about all I do. Not much more than that. But, you know, there's people that were a part of this community that I miss dearly. Yeah, cigars, the free copper's the best copper. But, you know, everybody's got their own thing in life going on, so one of these days I'll figure out this camera how to flip it. But y'all have a good night, and I'll see y'all on Saturday, I think. Might have a little special surprise on Monday. I finally decided that I was going to take a day off work. I don't ever miss work, very rarely. So I went ahead and put Monday on the calendar, which is very odd for me to do. I generally tend to lose all my, God, I could talk forever, man. Whatever happened to companies buying back your PTO, right? Whatever happened to companies buying back your vacation time? It was always, nah, not even close, FD. Anyways, it was always your vacation time you could sell back, and your sick days you could roll over. And hey, what's up, bro? And anyways, they don't do that. And does anywhere do that anymore? I would like to know. I always end up losing a week or more vacation time every year. Now, besides for when we all got sick, but that was understandable. No, I'm not sad. Well, why are you sad? So anyhow, everybody, have a good night. Keep that in mind. Do you work for a company that buys back your vacation time? And if you do, what is your vacation time worth to you? Because I'm finally going to get a day off. Finally. Y'all have a great night. It was good having y'all in. Love you all. God bless. Be safe. Be vigilant. It's a bad world out there, and you know, heads on a swivel. You know, everything's every battlefield's 360 degrees. God bless y'all.